Destination Eat Drink.
No one knows, only he knows. He tried to keep the recipe. Up to now 130 years. And only that family knows the recipe. But the person who keeps the recipe must wake up early, create the dough, leave the dough there, and the staff coming to work. So even if you are the staff over there, you also don't know the recipe.
We have a saying in English, I'd tell you what the recipe is, but then I'd have to kill you. You know, this is...
Yeah.
Traveling the world to bring you delicious dishes, tasty beverages, and interesting experiences. This is the Destination Eat Drink podcast on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network.
Welcome to Destination Eat Drink, the travel podcast for foodies, because the best part of any trip is what you eat. I'm Brent Peterson, and this week we're in Vietnam and the seaside city of Hoi An, a city known for a noodle dish only available here, a unique sesame soup, and a spicy chicken dish. My guest is Quyen from A Chef's Tour and achefstour.com. She was born and raised in Hoi An, and now she takes hungry guests around her fascinating city to discover its culture and cuisine. Quyen tells me about growing up in Hoi An, her love of candy as a little girl, and we talk about Hoi An's amazing food, secret recipes, and the yin-yang energy of food in Vietnam. Plus, getting up to make the noodles by hand at 1 a.m., the best stall at the market, and I'm starving, so let's eat.
Destination Eat Drink.
Quyen from A Chef's Tour in Hoi An, Vietnam. Thanks for being on Destination Eat Drink. I'm interested in talking to you about your fascinating city today.
Thank you for your interesting. I really love my city, and I hope that after the interview, you also love my city as well.
Oh, good, because I'm very interested in it and I want to learn a lot about Hoi An. But I would imagine most of the people in our audience aren't familiar with Hoi An. I have to admit, before I started talking to you, Quyen, I didn't know much about Hoi An. So can you just, for our audience, tell them a little bit about Hoi An? Where is it in Vietnam and what makes it a popular destination?
I'm a little bit surprised because like when people talk about Vietnam, travel Vietnam, they place the photo of Hoi An Old Town in the brochure to talk about Vietnam. So Hoi An is really a famous place. And if you plan the trip to Vietnam, a lot of people, they will visit Hoi An because the vibe of the city is really different. And thing important that make Hoi An different is that in 17th and 18th century, we was a vessel trading port. So at that time, a lot of international traders, they came together in Hoi An, traded for product, and it created a unique history and unique culture in Hoi An as well.
So it was an important trading post. It's on the water there. It was also a colonial city, I would imagine, from France. France was France colonized Vietnam for a long time. Is there any of that French influence still visible in Hoi An, or can we also taste it in Vietnam, in Hoi An?
Yeah, of course. When you go to Hoi An Old Town, most of the architecture influenced by France colony. But like France colony us like not long time ago, the thing important about Hoi An is that some old house, the age over 300 years, and the house reflects how the old house in the old town. And things special about Hoi An is that you even see some architecture. That's the architecture still intact compared to trading port time. And of course, you will see a lot of building with French influence.
Okay, interesting. Did you grow up in Hoi An, Quyen? Is this your hometown?
Yeah. I was born and raised in Hoi An, and I spent my whole life in Hoi An as well because I work in Hoi An.
Has it changed a lot during your lifetime? I mean, because some of the places where I've lived, you go back and you don't even recognize them. They're so different. We've only been here in Portugal for 4 years, and during that 4-year time, a lot of things have changed. Is Hoi An very different than when you were just a little kid?
Yeah, of course, of course. I when I was a little kid, I was living in the beach area, and Amban beach area. But by that time, in my childhood, it's just a place that no one went there. Like no name. When I was there, it's like no name. And I remember my home. We don't have the brick. I just run on the soil. That's all I remember.
Okay.
But like Hoi An is very a new city, and even Amban Beach is really famous now. It's like one of the main attraction in Hoi An. But by that time, when I was a kid, even it's just like Amban Beach is really new. Maybe the beach just established around 20 years ago.
Yeah, so now the beach area must be very popular. You know, everyone loves to go to the beach. And so it's maybe built out a lot. Would we go there and enjoy the water, enjoy the beach, maybe enjoy a drink there?
Mm-hmm, yeah. Now the beach is really popular, and it just takes you around like 20 minutes cycle from the old town to the beach. And on your cycle road, you can see the rice field as well. So it's very nice bicycle route.
If you're enjoying Destination Eat Drink, take a moment to rate and review the show on your podcast app. It just takes a moment, and it helps other foodie travelers just like you find the show. And if you want to hear more of my conversation with Quyen, become a member of my Substack. Members get full access to the complete interview where we talk beer in Hoi An and go into more detail about banh mi sandwiches and the unique vegan culture of Vietnam. Become a member of my Substack at destinationeatdrink.substack.com. So when you were growing up, when you were a little girl, what were some of your favorite dishes that your mom would make for you? When you had like a special day or a birthday or something like this, and you'd say, "Mom, could you please make this for me?" What was your favorite?
When I was a little kid, I just like candy. I just like candy and sweet chicken. I don't like anything else. Just like candy. But like, because I'm in the beach area, so it's really different. I don't feel the vibe of Hoi An Old Town much.
Okay.
Even Hoi An only like 3 kilometers, but because the beach we just developed now, and in the past, my homeland, we are really poor. We don't have anything to earn money. Therefore, I don't have a lot of Hoi An vibe in my mind. I know a lot of like beach area, but I don't have like the people of Hoi An Old Town, because the people who was born and raised in Hoi An Old Town, they are really rich. They like much riches, and maybe you cannot access to them as well. Like they are somewhere in the world already, maybe in USA.
Yeah. So when you were a kid, getting some candy, you said that you were very poor growing up. Getting some candy must have been a really special treat.
Mm-hmm. And I remember at that time when we see the foreigner pass by the street, we say, "Hi, hello, candy," because it's our like. At that time, we just think that, we say hello, and maybe they will give a little bit candy for us. And if they give us the trick of candy, we are really happy back that time.
Oh, that's a great story. Let's talk about some of the food that we can get on your tour.
Yeah.
Because I would love to go on a tour with you guys from a chef's tour. And I did some research. I read up a little bit about some of the famous dishes from Hoi An. So I'm going to just ask you about these, Quyen, and you tell me what they are and how you enjoy them and where you can get them and things like that. So let's start with the rice noodle dish called Khao Lao. What can you tell me about that one?
For Khao Lao, it is our specialty. And Hoi An, again, the radius only 3 kilometers, but we had 2 specialties that you couldn't find anywhere else. It's even you are in Da Nang, which is a big city and really close to Hoi An, but you couldn't find Khao Lao in Da Nang as well. Because for the noodle, it made from rice noodle. Then they must smoke it in alkaline water. Have you heard about alkaline water?
Yeah, with lye or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. A little bit complicated, but like the way for Hoi An people to make alkaline water, we burn the leaf from the tree in Cham Island. So that leaf only in Cham Island has, and for alkaline water, it requires a lot of minerals. Therefore, we take the water from the well, from the ancient well, so that the water can contain a lot of mineral. We make it as ash water, and we smoke it with our rice noodle. So when you hear about the process, the ingredient only in Hoi An have, and the process is really complicated. Only Hoi An people know how to make it, and up to now, there is only one family still make cao lao in a traditional way.
Oh.
So, for the noodle, it made from rice flour. Therefore, it's really sticky. He cannot cut it by the machine. He must cut it by hand.
Oh, nice.
He wakes up around 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. He prepares the noodle. Then he can deliver it to all the eateries in town. And also, because we are picky eater, therefore we just always want to eat fresh food. Therefore, cao lao, it just preserved one day only. For the owner, they can sell it on the second day. Therefore, he must wake up 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. to create the freshest cao lao for Hoi An.
Oh, man. Well, I hope he's around for a long time where he teaches his kids how to do this, because if he's the last guy, we don't want to lose this method of making cao lao.
Maybe we lose. Because I think for his kid like me, and if I must choose whether I continue with bend my bike and cut every little cao lao noodle and have my work, I don't know what I choose. I don't know.
It's hard work, and that's why a lot of these things get lost, because, the kids don't want to do it. And the parents, they might not want the kids to do it either. They might say, go to school and become a doctor or a lawyer. You don't want to have this hard life of getting up at 1 o'clock every morning to make the noodles. But the good news is this guy is around today. And if we go on a tour with you, Quyen, we can try the cao lao that's made in the traditional way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in addition to the noodles, you got some greens and some bean sprouts and herbs and meat as well. What kind of meat goes into cao lao traditionally?
Yeah, for the meat we use char siu pork.
Okay.
It follow Chinese cuisine, and for char siu pork, they must seasoning a lot of things: 5 spices, lemongrass, and garlic. But it's just the main idea. I only know the main idea. Every eatery has their own recipe in preparing char siu pork, and they don't want to share it for us. We just know the main idea.
Secret recipe. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So we can't dig any deeper than the garlic and some of these other.
Garlic, lemongrass, and 5 spices.
Yeah.
The ratio we don't know, and maybe something behind that we also don't know. And what time, how long you must leave for the meat absorb all the ingredients. So something like this also really important.
There's lots more food and travel at destinationeatdrink.com, where it's all about Venice this month. I just posted a story about why you shouldn't order an Aperol Spritz here. Read that story at destinationeatdrink.com/blog. I also just published a brand new food and travel guide to Venice at buymeacoffee.com. There's the Venetian answer to tapas, how to get into St. Mark's Basilica for free, and how to save $100 on your gondola ride. Download your copy at buymeacoffee.com/destinationeatdrink. I also just posted a brand new video. Told you not to order an Aperol Spritz. Well, here's all the different kinds of spritzes that you can order when you go to Venice. And there's a lot of them. Watch the video by clicking on the video tab at destinationeatdrink.com, or just go to my YouTube channel. It's at youtube.com/@destinationeatdrink946. When we talk about secret recipes, I also read about something called white rose dumplings. So when we come to Vietnam, of course, we're going to try different kinds of dumplings, but these white rose dumplings are very specific to your area. What can you tell me about the white rose dumplings and the family secret there?
Yeah, so for we have two specialty in Hoi An. We have cao lao and white rose. Now cao lao is like a Hoi An food. A lot of few of family, traditional family know to do it. But for white rose, It's the secret recipe of one family. In the past, he was the person who invented the recipe was a mix between Chinese and Vietnamese. Therefore, he knew Chinese recipe in making dumpling. But at that time, we don't have wheat flour. In Vietnam, we cannot grow wheat flour, and we close our country as well. Therefore, we don't have wheat at all during that time. Therefore, he replaced the recipe with rice flour. But what kind of rice flour? The ratio, no one knows, only he knows.
Oh, okay.
And he tried to keep the recipe. Up to now 130 years. The family tried to keep the recipe up to 130 years, and only that family knows the recipe. Even the family know they are really rich, like they can earn a lot of money. But the person who keeps the recipe must wake up early, create the dough, leave the dough there, and the staff coming to work. So even if you are the staff over there, you also don't know the recipe.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
We have a saying in English, when I ask about this recipe, for example, we might say in America, we might say, I'd tell you what the recipe is, but then I'd have to kill you. This is the joke.
Yeah.
It's so secret that nobody can know. For example, in Portugal, we have a very famous dessert called pastel de nata. It's a little custard tart with a flaky dough.
Mm-hmm.
And the most famous place that makes it is Pastéis de Belém. And they have a secret recipe that is only known by 5 people. And the rumor is that even those 5 people only know part of the secret recipe. So they don't. So, each of them have to put their things together, but none of them by themselves can create it. So, it is truly a secret recipe. So I'm always fascinated by these stories. But you said something very interesting to me, Quyen. You said this twice now about the Chinese influence. When you were talking about the white rose dumplings, you said, because they didn't have wheat flour in Vietnam, they had to use rice flour. And so I'm wondering, are there other dishes? I mean, China is one of those big countries that extends its influence far and wide in all directions. Are there other dishes that have that sort of Chinese influence when we come to Hoi An?
Because Chinese community in Hoi An back at that time in 17th and 18th century, it was really big and they influenced a lot of things in Hoi An. So most of the specialty in Hoi An, for example, chicken rice, also influenced from Chinese cuisine. White rose, Chinese, cao lao, also Chinese because of the char siu pork. What specialty do we have more? Barbecue pork satay, also from Chinese. Most of the specialty in Hoi An come from Chinese cuisine. But thing is that we are add a little bit creative on that. So we learn the recipe from Chinese, but add a little bit Vietnamese thing, so it become a Hoi An specialty.
Yeah. You make it a little bit different to make it your own. So, for example, with the white rose dumplings, you make it your own by adding the rice flour in. When you said the chicken and rice, is that the com ga? Is that the chicken and rice?
Yeah, right. Right. Vietnamese, your Vietnamese is good. It's com ga, chicken rice.
And so that's tell me about that dish. It's fried chicken, it's rice. Is there anything else involved with that?
Yeah. So you see chicken rice, the concept is really simple, chicken and rice. Like any place in the world can have chicken and rice, right? But because we follow the recipe of Hai Nam chicken rice, Hai Nam is a Chinese community was living in Hoi An. So we learned the recipe from Hai Nam chicken rice. For the chicken, we boil this, and then we take the chicken broth to make the rice. We add a little bit turmeric to create the yellow color. Then we stir fry to make it separate. The thing that different, we eat in our condiment. We eat with our pickle, hot vegetable, and Hoi An chili paste. And it create a different thing about chicken rice. In Vietnam, we follow the rule yin yang recipe. It means that when you eat the cold energy foods, you must balance with the hot energy food. So, for example, in Hoi An, we consider chicken. In Vietnam, we consider chicken as cold energy food. Therefore, we must balance with hot energy vegetable. And for me, up to now, when I talk with the guests, only in Vietnam they sing hot energy vegetable. I wish I could show it for you, a baby vegetable. And when you eat this plainly, you will feel a little bit hot in your tongue.
You also said there was pico in this, and
Pickle, yeah.
What exactly is that? Is that hot peppers? Is that like a chili paste? What is that?
It's like a papaya salad, unripe papaya salad with carrot.
What kind of chili peppers would we get?
You must add more Hoi An chili paste. And the thing unique about Hoi An is that for this chili paste, you only find it in Hoi An, not anywhere. Like in Hoi An and Da Nang. Let me tell you why. Because the sun in the summer in Hoi An is really hot. In June, July, a lot of people, when they come to Hoi An and they ask me, Queen, do you have winter? Because when they are in this weather, they couldn't believe that we have winter. But actually, we have really extreme winter. And it's really hot. Therefore, our chili, also the hottest one along Vietnam. So the way we prepare our chili paste is that we simmer the chili with sugar, so that it will be a balance of spicy and sweet. In the chili in other area cannot have the same taste. Maybe the sugar will dominate the taste, but it's really balanced in Hoi An chili paste.
This chili paste, you said you've got the hot peppers and you've got the sugar to balance it. Would this be also an example of yin and yang?
Maybe.
Not really. Okay. Just wondering.
Yeah.
Because it's not cool and hot. It's hot and sweet. So different, right? Yeah.
No, different. Because this yin yang recipe, it's like a whole philosophy behind that. For me, as a youngster, I just know something really simple. So in Vietnam, we consider chicken as the cold energy food. So it's really ridiculous to you. For example, in winter, you want to like warm yourself, you eat the chicken pho or chicken soup. But it's not what we do in Vietnam, because if we feel fever in the winter, we eat chicken. It means that we add cold energy in our body.
To cool down the fever.
It's not cool down the fever, because when you have fever, you already have a lot of cold energy in your body. You have cold in your body. And if you eat more chicken, it will like add more cold energy in your body. It add more cold content in your body. So we don't eat this if we have fever in the winter. If we have fever in the winter.
Okay, Quyen. I have a long way to go before I understand this. I think it's so
okay.
it's very
it's hard to understand.
It's very interesting, but it's also complicated because it's a whole different way of thinking that I'm not used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
cool.
Yeah. One more dish I want to ask you about is called zima, because I love a good sesame soup. What can you tell me about zima?
For sima, black sesame soup, also a recipe, comes from China. The owner, in the past, he was a legendary. He was on national television a lot. Back that time, around 25 years ago, when I was a little kid, I remember I saw him a lot on national television. And the idea is really simple. He used black sesame, sweet potato, kusu powder, and a little bit sugar from sugar cane, mix it together. The recipe is really simple, but like, I don't know why it was so famous for our parent generation. And up to now, he passed away already. The person who invented the recipe already passed away, and he passed down the recipe for the daughter-in-law. The daughter-in-law tried to cook the food, trick for the local and the tourists. Also try to keep the family occupation as well.
So has she changed this at all? Because you said that this came from China.
Yeah.
And it sometimes changes a little bit when it comes to Hoi An to suit the local palate and ingredients. So has this changed? And if so, how?
Also a secret recipe, but like he tried to make it in his own version, and because for this dessert really popular from China, in China, and in Saigon, there are a lot of Chinese people here. You easily find this one, black sesame soup, in Saigon, but the version in Hoi An is smoother, more dense and smoother. We don't know. We don't know why it's smoother than other. Also, the secret recipe.
Another secret
but like
recipe.
To blend, to grind the black sesame, they must grind by the stone grinder. Up to now, they still use this method.
Can't put it in the food processor. It's got to be ground by stone. Okay, good. I like it. Do you guys go to the Hoi An market in your tour?
We do go there.
What can you tell me about the Hoi An market? Because I love going to a good market.
It's not a good market.
It's not a good market? No?
But we find a really good stall in that market.
See, this is why we have to go on your tour, because if it's not a good market, you know the best places to go. So
because the central market is in the Hoi An Old Town. In the past, it have a lot of story over there and a lot of good food over there. But over time, because of the influence of tourism, so people in the market change a little bit. They become more pushy, more money driven. So because of that, so the food gradually lose the quality. But luckily, the team, like a chef team, the designer, tour designer, and me, we found a really good place. She's really kind, smart grandmother, and she cooked the good food over there. Even she was featured on Anthony Bourdain's show, but no one knew about her.
You know, I wanted to ask you before I let you go, Quyen, about banh mi, because this sandwich has now taken over the world. I mean, you see banh mi in the United States everywhere. We just came back from France, and it seemed every town had a shop selling banh mi. And I was reading on CNN, they called Hoi An the banh mi capital of Vietnam. That's awfully high praise for such a popular dish that you can find in a lot of places in Vietnam. Tell me about the banh mi in Hoi An and why is it so special?
Okay, I will explain you why. Because bánh mì, like you can find it along Vietnam. Why Hoi An is so famous for this? Because like 20 years ago, when Anthony Bourdain visited the Hoi An bánh mì at the bánh mì food store, and he stated that it is the best sandwich I ever tried in my life.
Wow.
The best sandwich ever. Since then, bánh mì Hoi An famous around the world. But like they must keep the reputation. Like the statement has its own reason, and when the people try it, they feel it very well. They feel it as well. And because in bánh mì in Hoi An, you easily find the bánh mì everywhere along Vietnam, but the bánh mì in Hoi An is more crispy and more fluffy. So when you have one bite, you will feel crunchy from your mouth, and inside it's soft as well. The quality of bánh mì in Hoi An is better than other areas. One of the assumptions is that because French colonized Da Nang and Hoi An as their first destination, so we learn fully the recipe from French.
Yeah, because I heard, I did another episode on, I think it was when I did my episode on Saigon a few years ago. They were saying that the thing that makes the banh mi so good is, the French brought the baguette to Vietnam, but the Vietnamese added rice flour, again, adding the rice flour.
Yeah, right.
That makes it so fluffy.
To create fluffy. Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it's a brilliant innovation and just another example of Vietnamese cuisine changing imported cuisine from other places. How do you like having your banh mi? Because I see different fillings of banh mi sandwiches wherever I go. How do you like your banh mi prepared, Quyen?
It's a little bit ridiculous now.
Okay.
For you guys, you are like like crave for bánh mì. But for Vietnamese people, bánh mì we treat bánh mì like our fast food. So we don't like bánh mì much. Some people, they like bánh mì. But like in my childhood, we feel that like if no one take care of you, you don't have time, you don't have bánh mì. You don't have time, you don't have money, you go for bánh mì. So bánh mì, we treat bánh mì like you treat Burger King and KFC.
Yet here we are elevating it to this high cuisine in the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And here you are in Hoi An going, it's just everyday food for us. But, those are sometimes the most brilliant and delicious dishes because they're easy to make. They're simple with fresh ingredients so that you can do them fast and you can get them out the door, but they're still super, super tasty and super good.
Yeah.
Are there different variations in the banh mi as far as what the fillings would be, what you'd have on the inside?
Usually for the local, we had the pork, the roasted pork, and a lot of vegetable together. Now when it comes to tourism, a lot of places they change the recipe already, so they add chicken, like a lot of topping together. But the traditional one in Hoi An, that we eat only the pork, then a little bit vegetable. The topping is thinner compared to the touristic version in Madame Khan and bánh mì Phu. They are two famous spots in Hoi An selling bánh mì.
Because the tourists want them stuffed with a lot of stuff, a lot of things.
Yeah, a lot of things.
And you're like, just give me a little. I just want a nice little bite in that.
Yeah, just thin layer. Yeah, because we sometimes we eat bánh mì almost every day because we don't have like time. When we were student, we eat bánh mì almost every day with a lot of topping like that. No, we only eat only one day, and then we feel like to my throat already. I cannot eat anymore. So we try to keep a thin layer.
Nice. Quyen, this has been just a delightful conversation with you. Thank you so much for opening my eyes to a place that I was not familiar with before, and for sharing all your knowledge about your city of Hoi An. It sounds like not only a wonderful place to visit, but some amazing cuisine as well. Someday I have to come there, and me and my girlfriend will enjoy cow lao with you, and maybe some tea as well. This has been a great conversation, and I thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me today. It's really happy. I'm really happy when hear from you and from your interesting. I hope that the interview today is interesting for you and for your audience as well.
Okay, there you go. That's Quyen from A Chef's Tour. Spending a half day with Quyen on a tour would be money well spent. She's so smart, knows everything about Hoi An, and has such a winning personality. You can book a tour with Quyen at achefstour.com or get the link in the show notes. Well, that's it for this week. Next week, I've got a very special episode with World Series champ Dusty Baker. We talk about his love for wine and making a special wine for home run king Hank Aaron. Subscribe to Destination Eat Drink so you don't miss that. Destination Eat Drink is distributed by the Radio Misfits Podcast Network and Ed Silla. Thanks, Ed. I'm Brent Peterson, and I'll see you down the road.
Join us next week for another culinary adventure on Destination Eat Drink, a presentation of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network.